Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about identifying and managing your emotions. But before we begin our new lesson on emotions, let's go ahead and do a little bit of review regarding what we talked about last week. So we talked about making responsible decisions, right? And hopefully you guys remember this model here. This is the decision-making model that we want to use every time we make more serious decisions that require more thought, right? So the first step is to stop, right? We don't want to act too quickly. We want to stop, and then we want to think about the positive outcome. We want to list our options, right? Okay, so we want to think about those consequences as well. And then we're going to act. We're going to act out the best plan for us, right? Not for our friends, the best plan for us. And then our final step here is reflect. So we're going to evaluate how well we did or what we could do differently next time. So my advice to you guys is to always use this model when you have difficult decisions to make, okay? Always think about those consequences, right? Those consequences can be negative or positive. So now let's get into our new lesson regarding emotions, one of my favorite topics. So think about some examples of emotions. Okay, we have emotions all the time. Another word for emotions is feelings. So we can be happy, we can be sad, we can be mad, angry, scared. Okay, those are all emotions that we all have felt before. Do you think our feelings can affect our ability to make good decisions? Yeah, right? So, say for example, if we're feeling angry, we might act out in an angry way. That's not the responsible decision to do, but sometimes it happens, right? So we need to learn from those mistakes. Have you ever made a bad decision because you were mad, right? Like I was just saying, if you're angry, you might act out in an aggressive way. You might yell at your sibling, right? But that's not okay, right? We have to make sure that we deal with our anger in an appropriate way. Did you regret making that decision? Yelling at your sibling? Probably, right? Because that probably hurt their feelings. It's not nice to do that to others. Our emotions can affect our decision making if we ignore our feelings and allow them to build, okay? So it's important that we do not ignore our feelings. Okay, knowing the words to describe different emotions will help you recognize what you are feeling right away. So let's go ahead and practice some of these feeling words. So let's match the feeling words with the emotions. You'll see in just a few seconds. Okay, so these are types of basic emotions. This is what people will show. If they're happy, they might, stretch and have a smile on their face. If they're sad, they might slump over. If they're scared, they might be like this. Okay, disgusted. Ooh. Okay, anger, surprise. Okay, so these are all different body language and facial expressions that we can show others how we're feeling. We don't know for sure, but we can assume by their body language and their facial expressions. It's always good to tell people how you feel as well, and we'll get into that. So, knowing the words to describe different emotions will help you recognize what you're feeling right away. Okay, so now what we're going to do is match the feeling words above with the emotion words below. So we have 4 different categories here. We have happy, we have sad, we have scared, and angry. There's 2 words above that go into each of these emotions below. So let's start with the first one. Which feeling word do you see above that matches happy? Right, ecstatic. Ecstatic is another feeling word for happy. Ecstatic is a little more intense than happy. So now let's go to sad. Which of these feeling words above match the emotion sad? Blue, right? So when somebody is not feeling really sad, they might be feeling a little blue. So So now let's look at scared. Which one of these feeling words matches scared? Terrified, right? So terrified is more intense than scared. Okay, now let's go to angry. When we're feeling angry, what is another feeling word that matches angry? Grouchy, right? Okay, so now let's find the second feeling word that matches each of these emotions. So let's see here. Another feeling word for happy would be glad, right? Okay. Now for sad, we have blue already, but what's another word for sad? Heartbroken, right? So heartbroken would be the saddest. Blue, on the other hand, is a little sad, but heartbroken, you're extremely sad. So now let's go back to scared. Okay. You might feel this when you're a little scared. Not terrified, but a little scared. So maybe startled. Startled would be the best fit for scared. Now let's go back to angry. So grouchy means that we're a little angry, but on the other hand, if we're furious, we're really angry, right? So do you see the difference between how these emotions are sometimes more intense than other feeling words? So ecstatic is more intense than happy and glad. Blue is a little sad, but heartbroken, you're really sad. Under scared, terrified is extremely scared. Startled is a little scared. Grouchy is a little angry, but furious is extremely angry. So there's a difference between how intense these emotions are. So now let's look at the signals. Your body gives you signals when you feel certain emotions, when you feel any type of emotion rather. So let's go ahead and focus on these body signals. So as you can see here, sometimes our emotions bring on tears, butterflies in our stomach, sweaty palms, dry mouth, clenched teeth, clenched fist, racing heart, lump in throat, laughter, red hot face, sweaty armpits. Okay, these are all different body signals that we need to recognize so we can help identify how we are feeling, and then once we identify how we are feeling, then we can manage those emotions. So what does it mean to manage your emotions? To deal with them, right? To express them in healthy ways. And we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So to manage your emotions, you have to know what you are feeling and how to deal with it. When you manage your emotions, you can think clearly so you can choose healthy ways to express your feelings. What could happen if we don't manage our emotions? We might make bad decisions, right? So let's look a little closer here at these signals. So here's our first situation. When you get home from school today, your mom meets you in the kitchen and asks you to sit down. She begins to tell you that your dog Roscoe was hit by a car this morning. Okay? So let's think about this for a minute. How would you feel if your mom said that to you? You'd probably be sad, right? Would you just be sad or would you be heartbroken? Me, particularly, I'd be heartbroken. Now, what are those body signals showing you? What type of body signals do you think you would have? I would have tears, right? Maybe that fast heartbeat because you're extremely sad. So everybody feels differently. Remember that. Go ahead and do another example. You were just assigned a book report. In order to make a good grade, you have to present your report in front of the entire class. So how would you feel in this scenario? Then describe the signals your body would use to alert you to this emotion. You might be terrified, right? When I was a kid, I would not like going up in front of the class and presenting, but now I can. I overcame that. But what would your body signals be telling you? If you were terrified, you might have that hot red face, those sweaty palms, okay? So those signals will help you identify how you're feeling, and then we can move forward and manage those emotions to not feel so nervous, to not feel so terrified. Okay, so now let's talk about healthy ways to manage your emotions, okay? So it's okay to feel angry, like I said before, but it's not okay to act out in an angry way. What does that look like? It's not okay to scream and yell. It's not okay to hit somebody. It's not okay to, curse at them. It's not okay to physically harm them, okay? That is just not okay. But what is okay when you are feeling angry, it's okay to sit down and read a book, take a couple deep breaths, write in your journal, okay? Talk to a trusted adult. Those are healthy ways to manage your emotions, okay? So let me give you an example here. When you and your family came home from when you and your family came home from going out to dinner, your dad noticed that the front door was open, so he called the police. Someone had broken in, stolen your family's valuables, and left your house a complete mess. When you went into the bedroom, you found that the trophy you earned last year for the most valuable player was smashed to pieces on the floor. So, how do we handle this, okay? Think about your emotions and how you would feel in this situation, as well as the physical body signals. Okay, particularly me, I would feel scared, right? I'd have that racing heartbeat. I'd have probably sweaty palms, sweaty armpits, because I am terrified. And I'd also feel sad. I'd probably have those tears because this person took those family valuables that we probably won't see again, right? Okay, so what are some healthy strategies you would use to manage your emotions? There's a bunch of different ways, right? We could take a couple deep breaths. We could talk to our parents about what just happened. Some people might laugh at this scenario, right? Bring laughter into this because of how terrible this situation was. So these are different ways you can manage your emotions, manage the situation, instead of lashing out and breaking things or yelling and screaming, right? So let's talk about talking to a trusted adult. Who can you talk to? Who are these trusted adults? Your mom, dad, grandparents, teachers, counselors, coaches, some family members? Talking to a trusted adult helps the adult know how you feel. It gives you the chance to express your feelings and get help and support from someone who cares about you. Okay? So that is important. Why are these strategies so important and why are they healthy? Such as listening to music, drawing or painting, exercising, taking a break. They help you stay in control of your emotions and keep you safe and out of control, right? Alright, so let's move on. So now that we have learned how to identify and manage our own emotions, let's talk about how to recognize the emotions of others. Sometimes we're able to recognize those emotions through their body language. Like this picture here, he looks like he's crying and his friend notices. Sometimes we're able to look at somebody's body language, look at their facial expressions, and know how they're feeling. But sometimes we're not able to. So that's why it's important to tell people how you feel as well as show them, okay? So that is important, to show people how you feel and also use your voice and tell them how you feel, okay? So now that you have practiced identifying the emotions of others, you will be more likely to understand what others are feeling. When we manage our emotions, we can think clearly and make healthy decisions. So if you guys have any questions, have a trusted adult email your questions at scazaprevention@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Next week, we're going to talk about how to develop and improve our communication skills. Have an awesome day, guys. See you next time.